Good morning, all. I, Puneet K, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, ATME, welcome you all to this technical talk on methods of building construction from A to Z. It's my immense pleasure to introduce the resource person of this technical talk, Mr. Mustaq Amin, structural engineer and an expert in AutoCAD, Revit architecture, StatPro, and various civil engineering softwares. Mr. Mustaq Amin has been working as a structural engineer in Structures India Consultancy, Basant Nagar, and provided structural evaluations for and designs for more than 25 projects. He has also worked as junior site engineer intern in 2020 to 21 in Royal Construction Company, Karaikal. He has also started a YouTube channel, Civilopedia, to benefit civil engineering students, and is presently working as CEO and structural engineer of Amincom Structural Consultancy, Chennai. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, ATME, I welcome you, sir, for this program.
Hello, Puneet. Hello, everyone. Um, he already introduced me, but I'll introduce myself. I'm Mushtaq Amin, and I'm a structural engineer. I'm working in uh, Amin Corp Structural Consultancy as a structural engineer, and I'm the CEO of it. So, hello everyone from ATMECE College of Engineering. So I hope everyone are doing good in this pandemic situation. This situation has made us worse, and our government is working to get away from this situation, and we have to follow the lockdown protocols, and we need to stay at home and stay safe. So everyone, I hope everyone is vaccinated and staying safe. So, Puneet, can we start the session?
Yes, sir, you can take over this session.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, before going to the session, I'll just share my screen. Puneet, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Just put it in a full screen mode, sir.
Yeah, okay. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, before getting into this technical topic, I just want to tell you something because most of the site engineer do not concentrate in this. The communication skills with the labor. This has to be taken in your mind because you can be a fluent English speaker or you can be a doctorate in English, but that doesn't matter when you go step into the site actually, because the you have to know the language what the labor knows, so you have to communicate with him with his language. So you have to know the technical terms in that language, in that local language, and you have to talk to him in that. So that's how we can convey the work to him and he can execute the work. So we have to know the communication skill before entering into the site, and that's not about knowing English, that's about knowing the local language. So now we'll go to the technical part, and today we are going to see the construction steps from A to Z, construction of a residential building. So we are going to see everything from A to Z. So before entering into this, we have many steps in construction. So we have many other steps, and we have clubbed all these steps into three main steps, that is pre-construction step, actual construction step, and post construction step. And then in pre construction step, first thing we have to do is meeting your client. You have to go in person and meet your client, and you have to know the requirements of your client, and you have to know their taste of choice, and you have to know their style of construction. So you have to collect as much possible information from your client so that you can execute it in your work. So so you have to go to them, sit with them for half an hour or 1 hour. You have to talk with them. You have to collect all the information about the construction work that has to be taken place. So the next thing is you have to do the site visit. So site visit is an important factor because you have to go in person to the site. You have to see the site. You have to see the surroundings. You have to you have to note the width of the road because you need to transport the materials from there. And if your width of the road is too small and you cannot transport uh, you cannot transport if you cannot transport the materials there, you can transport it you can arrange an alternate way where you can transport the material, and then you have to measure the site there. So you can use a professional surveying team or you can measure it by yourself. But if you use a professional team, you will get a better measurements, you'll get the exact measurements, and you can also get a perfect planning before getting into the construction. So the next thing is planning the construction. So every process has to be planned before doing it. So we have to plan the construction before entering into our execution work. So we have to do architectural planning, structural planning, electrical planning, plumbing planning. Everything has to be done. So architectural planning is designing our house, you all know that, and structural planning is designing the skeleton of your house, and electrical and plumbing you all know. So we have to get all these drawings, and with these drawings we can get the construction estimation, and we can do the budget planning, so that we can find the cost of construction, and we have to submit it to the client so that they can arrange the financial things. So the next thing is, after collecting all these documents, the drawings and the estimation and the budget planning, you can provide it to the legal approvals, and you can get the approvals from there. So the next thing is site preparation. So cleaning our site is one of the main thing that has to be done. So cleaning is a main construction discipline that has to be followed. So arranging the material on one side of our site, and using a green screen to avoid the dust to come out of the site. So these things has to be followed in the site, and these comes under the construction discipline. So this will make us to avoid theft of materials, loss of materials, and wastage of materials can be avoided by doing this construction discipline works. So we have completed the pre-construction works, and now we are stepping into the actual construction work that has to be followed. The first thing is site marking. So the site marking has to be done because the positioning of the column and footing is done in this. So we have to do with the help of the structural drawings that's provided by the structural engineer, and we can use some woods and thread to mark the site, and the thread will act as a center line for the uh, site marking, and this marking has to be excavated in the next process. So the excavation is the next process, and the depth of the excavation is decided by the soil report. The soil report is one of an important thing, but most people do not they think that the soil report is not important, it is an unnecessary thing, it's a waste of money. So that's not the thing. Soil report is a report that has to be taken before the construction of a work. So we can know the bearing capacity of the soil, the type of soil, and the type of foundation with this soil report, so that we can deploy the type of foundation in that site. So so the next thing is, after excavation, we are going to fill in the excavated pit with 6-inch thickness of sand and 6-inch thickness of PCC. So the PCC is going to act as a bed above that footing reinforcement. So the next thing, we are going to provide the footing reinforcement. We are going to place the footing reinforcement inside the excavated pit, that is above the PCC bed. So before placing it, we have to make sure that we are placing a 3-inch cover block inside the excavated pit, that is above the PCC bed. So we have to place the 3-inch cover blocks alternatively, so that the reinforcement do not touch the PCC bed. So we are going to place the cover blocks, and then we are going to place the reinforcement, footing reinforcement into that. And then next thing is we are going to place the column reinforcement above that. So placing the column reinforcement is something that has to be uh, followed carefully, because column placing is one of the important step, and if any misplacement of column occurs, it will be a big problem in future. It may create a chaos in the future. So the next thing is, yes. So this is the picture of footing and column reinforcement, and you can see this is a footing mesh and this is a column reinforcement, and you can see this development length, and this development length can be should not be less than 1 feet. So uh, this should be provided, and this is the cover block that is placed alternatively. So you can see that in the picture. So the next step is provide footing formwork. So you have to provide a footing formwork inside the excavated pit, and it can be a metal formwork or a wooden formwork, anything it can be, but you have to provide a formwork inside the excavated pit. So you can now pour the concrete into the formwork. So it can be a concrete of 1 is to 1.5 to 3, that is the M20 concrete. It is fine for a residential construction, but you can go for M25 or M30 according to the design provided by the structural engineer. So the compaction of the concrete has to be done properly in this. So if the compaction is not done properly, we'll face the honeycomb formation, that is we'll face an error in the construction. So honeycomb is nothing but uh, as it is a formation of an error in the concrete. So if compaction is not done properly, honeycomb formation will be visible. So I'll show you. I have a 3D view of this uh, formwork and this concrete. So I'll show you the 3D view. So this one is the excavation. So I have all the steps in 3D view. So this is the excavation. So after this, we are going to provide uh, the footing formwork. So this is the formwork. So you can see the formwork. So we have provided the formwork, and after this, inside this, we will pour the concrete. So okay, the next step is removal of the footing formwork. So we have to remove the footing formwork after 24 hours. So after 24 hours, we can remove the formwork, and we have to make sure that it is completely dry before removing it. And the honeycomb should not be formed. If the honeycomb is formed, maybe it can happen sometimes. So if formed, you have to do the repair work. So the next thing is providing column formwork. So column formwork has to be provided up to the natural ground level, and we have to make sure that the cover blocks are placed in the alternative way inside the formwork, and we have to pour the RCC concrete into the formwork. So compaction has to be done properly. Again, compaction is the most important thing, and it has to be done properly. So it can be done with a vibrator or a stick, anything, but you have to do it properly. So we have to remove the column formwork. So we can remove it after 1 to 2 days, and make sure it is completely dry before removing it. And if honeycomb is formed, we have to do the repair work. So you cannot proceed without doing repair work. You have to do the repair work, and you have to proceed. And now we have to do the curing with the water. So the next thing is refilling the excavated pit. So before that, I'll show you the 3D view of that formwork, column formwork. So this is the 3D view of the column formwork, and you can see that. And inside this, we are going to pour the RCC. So we are going to pour the concrete inside this. And yes, so refilling the excavated pit. So we have to refill the excavated pit with a soil. So you can use the same excavated soil, or you can use a pit sand or a gravel. If your excavated soil is a family of a clay, so it is a clay family, you cannot use it for excavation. So you can use you can purchase a pit sand or a gravel and use it in your construction. So the next thing is plinth beam construction. So what is a plinth beam? Plinth beam is a beam in the foundation level, and it carries the wall load in the ground floor. So it also acts as a tie, and it holds the column together. So this plinth beam has to be constructed, and I'll show the 3D view of it. So this is the excavated portion, and we have placed the column formwork here, and this is the plinth beam formwork. So this is how we have to provide plinth beam formwork, and we have to pour the concrete into this. We have to place the reinforcement inside this, and we have to pour the concrete into this. So so we'll see how we are going to construct the plinth beam. So provide the reinforcement for the plinth beam, and the reinforcement has to be according to the structural design provided by the structural engineer. And we have to place the formwork, and we have to pour the RCC into the formwork. So make sure we have provided the cover blocks in place. So cover blocks is very important. We have to place it in the bottom and the sides of the formwork. And after completing 1 to 2 days, we have to de-shutter the formwork, and we have to make sure that the plinth beam is dry. So next thing is filling the basement. So we have to fill the basement. So we can fill it with excavated with the excavated soil, or the gravel, or the pits. And I have told you the conditions to be followed. If the soil is a clayey soil, then you have to go for a pit sand or a gravel. So you can go for a gravel or a pit sand, and you have to consolidate it tightly with the water. So you have to make sure that if you step into that soil, your feet doesn't go inside. So that's how it should be tightly packed. So after that process, we have to provide a 6 inch of sand and 6 inch of PCC above that. So I'll show you in the 3D view. So this one. So this is the gravel layer provided, and after that we have provided the PCC. So we have provided the PCC in the floor level. So this will act as a bed in this. So the next thing is elevate the column up to the lintel level. So we have to elevate the column up to the lintel level, and the lapping of reinforcement is a very important thing in this. And what is the lapping of reinforcement? So we cannot provide the reinforcement from the ground level to the roof level directly. We have to overlap two rods. We have to cut the rod into two, and we have to overlap these two. And this is how we overlap. So I have mentioned it in this presentation. So this is how we overlap, and this is the lap length. So this lap length should be decided with a formula that is 50 into D. So D is the diameter of the rod. If I have a rod, for example, if I have a rod, 20 rod, then it is 50 into 20, that is 1000 So 1000 is my lap length. So lapping has to be done with alternative heights. So I'll show you how this. So if you see this, if you see this rod, these rods will be in alternative heights. So these are not in the same position, same height. So these are all in the alternative heights. So this is how we have to provide the rods. We should not provide the lap in the same position. So the next thing is column up to the lintel level. So we have to provide the column up to the lintel level. So we have to follow the same procedure. We have to provide the formwork, then make sure the cover blocks are placed alternatively and pour the RCC into the formwork, and compaction has to be done properly. So we can use a stick or a vibrator. And after 1 to 2 days, we have to remove the formwork and make sure it is completely dry. And the next thing, if honeycomb formation is happened, you can do the repair work. So the next thing is curing with jute gunny bags. So the curing of substructure can occur automatically because we are using water in the superstructure, and automatically the water will go down, and the automatic process of curing occurs in the substructure. But in the superstructure, we have to do the curing by ourselves. So for that, we have to take the jute gunny bags and wrap it around the column, and we need to put water in it so that the wet content will be carried by the gunny bags. So this will do the automatic curing process. So now we have to provide the lintel beam. So what is a lintel beam? A lintel beam is something that is above the window. So this will avoid the deflection and sagging of the window frames due to the brickworks, the load of the brickworks above it. So if we the window frame is of woodworks. So if we have the brickwork above it, damages may occur. So that we have to provide lintel beams above that. So this lintel beam will also act as a tie in the RCC structure. So now we have to elevate the column up to the roof level. So this stage we have to again do the lapping of reinforcement, or if you have the reinforcement above the roof level, you have already provided the reinforcement, you need not do the lapping work here, and you can skip the work and you can go for column construction. So now we have to do the brickwork up to the roof height. So in this stage, we have to do the complete brickwork. So first stage, the brickwork has to be done up to the sill level. And then you have to provide a 3-inch thickness of concrete in a sill level where you are going to provide the windows. So this will act as a support for the windows. So this 3-inch thickness concrete can be provided with bit rods. So you will have the wastage of rods anywhere. So you can place the rods there and you can provide a 3-inch concrete. And brickwork has to be completed. And when you do the brickwork, you have to consider the roof beam that has to be provided after that. So you have to consider the depth of the roof beam and have to provide the height of the brickwork up to it. So we'll see the 3D view now. So I'll show you. So this is the lintel beam. So this is the lintel beam provided above the opening of window, and this one is the formwork for our roof beam. So I'll tell you that next. And this one is the concrete that is provided in the sill level. This is a 3-inch thickness, and this has to be provided to support the windows. So the next thing is formwork for roof beam and slab. So we have to provide formwork with jack and span in this. So we have to apply oil over the formwork, and we have to place the slab and beam reinforcement. So now after this process, we have to pour the RCC concrete into this and make sure that the cover blocks are placed properly. So this is the main thing that has to be taken care of. So cover blocks has to be placed in place. So the compaction of the RCC has to be done continuously in this process, and the leveling of the RCC surface has to be done uniformly so that it will look neat. So the next thing is after 4 days or 8 days. I'll tell you that. So removing the slab and beam formwork. So vertical supports can be removed in 4 days, and the complete formwork removal has to be done in 10 days. So after this, you have to make sure that the concrete is completely dry, and you have to make sure there is no honeycomb formed. If the honeycomb is formed, you have to do the repair work. I'll show you the form work in the 3D. So this is the form work in 3D, and I have also shown the sunken portion. So sunken portion can be provided in the toilet portion, so that you can use this to provide pipelines, plumbing lines in this. So this is the beam formwork, and this is provided like this. And this is where we have to pour the concrete and make sure it is dry. After that, we have to remove this. And this is jack and span. So this is a temporary support that is provided above below the footing, below the slab reinforced slab formwork, and this can be taken after the removal of the uh, formworks. So the next thing is complete the brickwork. So you have to complete the brickwork after that. So you have to do the parapet wall, and you have to do the completion of brickwork on the other sides also. So the next thing is you have to provide wooden frames for doors and windows. So you can provide it in the openings, and you have to provide it firmly. So after that, uh, we have to go to the post construction. So we have completed the pre actual construction works. So that is, we have excavated the soil, and we have placed the footing reinforcement, we have placed the column reinforcement, we have poured the concrete, we have elevated the column, and then we have provided plinth beam around it, and we have elevated the column to the lintel level, and then we have provided the lintel beam, and we have done the brickwork, and we have we have elevated the column up to the roof level, and we have done the roof reinforcement, and we have provided we have poured concrete in the roof, and we have completed all the actual construction work. So the post construction work, what is a post construction work? So the finishing works are the post construction works, and we have to do plastering, electrical works, then plumbing works, painting works, and elevation works, interior works. So everything has to be done in this finishing works. So plastering work is something that has to be done above the brickwork, and the electrical, you all know, the electrical work, plumbing work, and the painting work, and elevation work according to the architectural design. And we have to do the interior works according to the interior design. So these are the post construction works. And yes, these are the pictures of it. So yes. So now we have completed all the construction work, and we can hand over the key to the client, and it's all done. So thank you, and thank you for this session, Mr. Puneet and Mr. Manu sir. Thank you for this session. They referred me here. And Puneet, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can we
Sir,
go to the
thank-
question and answer session now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or I'll show the complete 3D work from the first. Okay.
Yes, sir. First, you can show the 3D work. Then we will go for the question.
Okay. I've shown the 3D work. Have you been? Have you? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll show the 3D work from the first. Yeah. So I'll just make a summary of what we have seen in this session. So yeah. First, we have excavated the soil. So excavation work has been done. So the next thing is we have provided the form work, and I have shown this in the outer side, but this has to be done inside the pit. I have just shown you to understand it more clearly. So yeah, the form work has to be done like this, and we have to pour concrete into this, and we have to provide form work for the column, and then we have to, yeah, this has to be done inside the excavated pit, and then we have to fill the soil. So we have to fill the excavated pit, and then we have to provide the formwork for the plinth beam, and we have to pour the concrete into this. And then after removal of formwork, we have to uh, elevate the column to the lintel level, and we have to provide the formwork for this. So after removing the formwork, it will look like this. So then we have to um, do the filling of basement. So we have to fill the basement with gravel in the first stage, and then we have to fill it with 6 inch of M sand and 6 inch of PCC. Why I'm saying M sand is, today in this situation we don't get river sand, so that we can use M sand. So M sand is, obviously it is equal to the river sand, so you can use it without any doubts. So after this, we have to provide the lintel beam. We have to construct the lintel beam, and then do the brickwork. And when we are doing the brickwork, we have to make sure that the 3 inch of concrete is placed in the sill level. So next we have to provide the roof formwork, and we have to pour the concrete into this, and uh, we have to remove the formwork after 4 days. The vertical, these are the vertical formwork, so these can be taken after 4 days, and this has to be removed after 10 days. So after completing, it will look like this. So the complete reinforcement will, the complete RCC structure will look like this. And after this, we can do plastering, we can do the elevation work, and we can do the other works, other decorative works you can do. And but this is the actual skeleton of the building, and this is how we have to construct a RCC structure. So, hello, Puneet.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, can we post the questions in the chat box, or uh, we can tell the students to ask it directly?
Yes, sir. We can ask them directly. So,
Yeah,
I request the students, if any of them have any queries, they can unmute themselves and they can ask the question.
yeah. No questions.
If any of the questions are there, you can unmute yourself and you can raise the question. So I think there are no queries, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll just finish the thing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Um, okay. Actually, I have introduced myself. I'm Mushtaq Amin, and this is my email ID. So if you have any doubts about this session, or if you have any doubts in civil engineering, if you have a common doubts, so you can ask me without any hesitation. And this is my number. You can WhatsApp me or you can call me. But I'm free after 5 o'clock only, 5 to 6. I'm free, so you can call in that time. So this is my Instagram ID. You can also follow me and you can text me in that. So, and this is my YouTube channel. So I'll tell you why I started my YouTube channel. I thought that many of the civil engineers are not getting jobs, and they are facing several problems. So these are due to the lack of knowledge and lack of basic knowledges. So I thought that I can give a session that can help the civil engineers to know more about civil engineering, and they can learn more about our field, so that this will be helpful for them to get into interviews, to get into jobs. So I started this YouTube channel for that, for a good purpose. And I hope this YouTube channel will get to a good position. And do follow this YouTube channel. And this is my YouTube channel name, Mr. Civilopedia, and I have many contents about civil engineering. And I'm going to post other contents also in the future. And since I'm a structural engineer, I'll also post structural engineering based topics in future. Maybe it will be RCC, it will be steel structure, and everything I'll post in the future. Do subscribe this channel, and do follow me in the Instagram. Yeah, that's it, Puneet.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you,
providing
Puneet.
a
Thank you.
brief
Thank you, everyone.
information
Thank
regarding.
you, everyone, for listening to this session. I hope everyone understood this basic concept, because the basic concept is the main thing that has to be known in civil engineering field. Without basic knowledge, we cannot step into the field. You can know the steel designing, you can know the RCC designing, you can know all the advanced topic, but the basic thing is the first thing that has to be known by us. So we have to know the basic thing. And thank you. Yeah,
Thank you, sir, for
yeah,
providing a brief information regarding the construction.
yeah. Thank you,
So
Puneet. Yeah.
finally, we come to the conclusion of this session.
Mm.
I thank the management, principal sir, and the head of the department, Mr. Manu Vijay sir, for providing an opportunity to organizing this session. I extend my warm wishes and thank you for the resource person. In in spite of his busy schedule, he has agreed for our invitation and he has given a technical talk on today. And also, I thank the students for participating in this technical talk. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.